can join me at the altar for the prayers. Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Radha Krishnaya Namaha. Om Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Okay. Please sit here. Can I just request people to move up in front? We're going to have a small crowd, so I'm not projecting. You can move up as close as you can. I don't bite. Projector is on. I got it. It's okay. We will start with our opening prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Dhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome everyone. In this hot sun, you all have taken the trouble to come here. So, as most of you know, Swamiji hasn't been feeling well for a while, but I think, and nothing serious, it's just he has chronic dizziness. So, his class schedule has changed quite a bit. So right now, he's only going to be going to try and do a meditation class every Saturday. The other classes are on hiatus for a couple weeks till he feels a little up to teaching. It's just because the style of teaching requires a lot of mental energy, and when you're constantly dizzy, it becomes hard to focus. So, and please check your emails before you come on a Saturday, because last minute cancellations can still happen. We past several months, and prior to the COVID, we used to have a chanting class in people's homes once a month. And we began it only a couple months back after COVID, and we were doing it in people's homes. But then because it was Guru Purnima yesterday, so, and I was planning to do a Guru Stotra anyway, so Swamiji said to have it at the ashram, and that's why you are all here, and I am here. So thank you for coming. Yeah, so what is the significance of Guru Purnima? I'll just give for those who are coming for the first time to this class, the format of the class is we take up a stotra every time we meet. I will chant each verse and you repeat, and then we see the meaning of each verse. And towards the end, after the stotra meaning has been explained, we do a meditation, a brief meditation. So that's the format we're going to keep even for today's class. What is the significance of Guru Purnima? It's, in India, I don't know if they have it here. We have like a Teacher's Day we used to have growing up. I'm presuming they have something like that here as well, kids growing up. But a guru is much more than a teacher. So what is the significance of Guru Purnima? It's basically a way for us students to show our gratitude to the teacher, to the guru. In India, it is a religious celebration, and not only to our immediate guru, but to the lineage of gurus, beginning, and as we chant at the altar, beginning with Sadashiva. So beginning with Ishvara himself, who is the first guru or the first teacher, and then it comes down Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam. Swamiji is in the lineage of Shankaras, so Shankaracharya, but many of you may have also heard the other Vishnu lineage prayer, Narayanam Padma Bhuvam Vashishtam. So that's another lineage of gurus. So we are showing our gratitude not only to our immediate guru, because that's our immediate contact with these teachings, but the whole lineage. And today we're going to look at Guru Ashtakam, and it's become Guru Ashtakam. Sanskrit students will know the sandhis going on here. This is supposed to have been composed by Shankaracharya, and Ashtakam means 8. Ashtakam means 8, so 8 verses on the Guru. The word Guru is used very loosely in almost every field. So you have a tennis guru, you have a computer guru, you have a cooking guru, and I'm sure a lot more. They're all teachers in their own way, but that's not the guru we are focused on. The dictionary meaning of guru, and I'm going to read the Sanskrit out first. So guru it occurs as a noun and it occurs as an adjective also. As a noun, the definition says, Grinati upadishati vedadi shastrani indradi devebhyaha iti. Grinati means to talk, the one who talks or speaks. Upadishati, to teach, the one who teaches. And what is being taught? Veda adi shastrani, Veda and other scriptures. And to whom is it being taught? Indradi devebhyaha, to the gods like Indra, etc. So a guru is one definition of guru, one who teaches not only to humans but to the gods themselves. And another definition says, Giyate, I'm just going to reduce the volume a little bit, I can hear a little echo. The other definition says, Giyate stuyate deva gandharva manushyadibhi. So Giyate and stuyate, the one who is praised, who is extolled, who is sung, whose praises are sung by whom? Deva, Gandharva, Manushya, Devas, Gandharvas, and humans. And its third definition of guru says, Girati Ajnanam, Grinati Upadashati Dharmam. So Girati Ajnanam, the one who dispels or removes, who drops our ignorance, and Grinati, the one who teaches, Upadishati, talks and teaches, not only the Shastra, but Dharma also. So the Guru tells us how to live life in the right way, how to live life very dharmically. And basically, a guru is one who conveys the subject matter of the Shastras, of the text, in whatever way is appropriate to the students. In ancient times, of course, they didn't have any audio, video, visual. If the sun is on your face, you can move. Audio, video, equipment, or recording, or volunteers like Suryakant. They would be sitting outside under the trees, and the guru would say a line, and the students would have to repeat it. So that's the way the teaching tradition went. There are still a few traditional teachers in our lineage, and especially in Rishikesh, who do not like the use of, especially post-COVID, who do not like the use of multimedia or online classes, because that's not the traditional way to teach. But I think it doesn't matter. Whatever way a guru can use to make that communication effective and get that knowledge to the students, that's what a guru is. As an adjective, the word guru means heavy, heavy, light versus heavy. And by implication, it also means somebody who's great, venerable, respectable, valuable. So a guru, in both sense, as a noun as well as an adjective. If you want to move, if the sun is in your face, no, the lady behind you, is she okay? There is a chair there, right? Empty. There's one seat in the front. Yeah, she can sit there. Sorry, it's beautiful, those lights there. We've hardly ever had a class at this time in the summer in this hall. This is all Swamiji's design. And it looks lovely, but if the sun is right in your face, it's not very pleasant. So many of you might have also, there's a shloka that's commonly used to define a guru. It says, Gukaras tvandhakaro vai rukaras tannivartakaha andhakara nivartitvat guru iti abhidhiyate. So the word gu and ru come from this shloka. So gukaraha, meaning the letter gu, is equal to andhakara, is equal to darkness or ignorance. And rukaraha tan nivartaka. Nivartaka is the one who removes or expels or dispels, remover of this darkness. So andhakara nivartitvat, because he or she removes this darkness of ignorance, guru iti abhidhiyate. The word is called guru. So gu indicating ignorance and ru indicating the dispeller of ignorance. So that's another very commonly used definition. I've always had that definition. I've always only known that definition. So I went and looked up in the dictionary to see what the word gu and ru mean. Nowhere close. It doesn't mean that at all. But by poetic license, when it is used in the shloka, it is fine to say gu is ignorance and ru is the dispeller of ignorance. So what does a guru, a true guru, want from any of the students? A genuinely true guru is completely agenda free, has nothing, desires nothing except for the student to learn and to grow. And you see the poster outside. Swamiji always uses the words, uses the sentence, if you're coming here to study Vedanta, you're wasting your time. It's not the text we are interested in studying. It is using the text to study our own nature, to study our fullness, to study our swarupa, our inherent nature. So that's really what the guru wants to do. Yeah. Oh, I have to do it. Sorry. I'm all forgetting. Okay. So the Guru Ashtakam, a lot of the verses really talk about the futility of going after 3 of the 4 purusharthas. So most of you have heard the 4 purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. That's the order it's usually given, but it makes more sense to take it in the order of kama, artha, dharma, and moksha. So kama is any pleasures, any sense pleasures, any desires. Artha is security or a way to, if you like to see the movies, if you like to go to the movies, but you can't afford a ticket, you're going to not be too happy about it. So the artha is the way to gain that security, to gain money, to gain whatever is needed to fulfill those desires. And dharma can be taken in different ways. Here, it makes sense to take it as to obtain the security and the pleasures in the right way, in a dharmic, in a correct manner, which means you obtain the pleasure, you obtain the artha without doing harm to others. without not in any illegal ways or harmful ways. And moksha is the ultimate pursuit. The moksha, loosely translated as freedom or liberation. Liberation and freedom not from living, but from suffering. And when would you get that liberation? When would you get that freedom? All of us suffer in some way or the other. The only way you will get that freedom is through these teachings as explained or as expounded is the word, by a guru. And the ultimate teaching is really the source of happiness is not outside. The source of suffering is not outside. The source of happiness is within you. Inherently, that's what the Tattvamasi highest teachings are. So most of the verses carry this theme of how we live our lives identifying with all these karmas and arthas because of which we suffer. So I will chant each quarter and you can repeat after me. The melody is quite simple. Shariram surupam tatha va kalatram. Shariram surupam tatha va kalatram. Yashascharu chitram dhanam me rutulyam. Yashascharu chitram dhanam me rutulyam. Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. Tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim. Tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim. So this first verse is talking about places of identification that we hold on to. So shariram, which is the body, surupam, a beautiful form or a buff body, tathava and or kalatram. Kalatram means a wife. Yashas, fame. Charu means esteem or everybody thinks highly of you. Chitram, dhanam. Chitram means many different kinds and dhanam is wealth. So you could consider this to be your retirement portfolio. You have many different kinds of groups. What is the word I'm looking for? Categories? No. In a portfolio? Is there different assets, different holdings? Okay. That shows how much I know about dhanam. So dhanam, chitram dhanam, meru tulyam. Tulyam means equal to the mountain. Mount Meru is supposed to be, in the Puranas, it's one of the most fabulous, huge mountain. So even if you have all this, you have a decent body, we all have a body, you have a beautiful body, you have the perfect spouse, wife, which there's nothing called the perfect spouse, right? Most of you who are married kind of know that by now. Everybody speaks highly of you, you're very famous, you're very popular, and you have hordes and hordes of wealth. Manas chet na lagnam. So chet, if, manas, if the mind, na lagnam. Lagnam means to be attached to or to be fixed on or to be focused on. So if the mind is not connected to or attached to what? Guror angri padme. Guroho padme, the angri means the foot, the feet. Padme, lotus feet of who? Of the Guru. So if the mind is not attached to or connected to the feet of the Guru, then what happens? Tatah kim. Tatah kim is idiomatic. Tatah means from that and kim means why. So literally, what's the use? What's the point? And he repeats that 3 times. what's the point if you have all the things that mentioned in the first two lines, a body, a good body, a beautiful, excellent wife, you have all the wealth, you have all the fame, but if you are not attached to the feet of the Guru. And what does that mean? Obviously, imagine if Swamiji is walking by and we all go and attach ourselves to his feet. Obviously, that's not what it means. So firstly, why feet? The feet is the lowest part in a human body, right? And it's very beautiful. I know when I see South Indian men especially, they do this Sashtanga Namaskara, Sa Ashta Anga. So 8 limbs, you'll see them, especially when they go to a temple or when they're taking blessings from a sannyasi. They lie down flat on the ground with their hands extended forward. So the 8 limbs, the head, the neck, the shoulders, the hips, the arms, and the legs, all of them are bowing down, Ashta Anga, like Guru Ashtakam. The 8 limbs are bowing down at the altar or to the Guru. It's a very beautiful depiction of how one can let go of our ego by bowing down completely. And it's, I've seen so many people do this when Pujya Swamiji was alive, or even any sannyasi of our tradition. No matter where the Swami is, the sannyasi is, it could be on the road, they would just do this Ashtanga Namaskara without giving second thought to what are others going to be thinking about me. So the idea of the feet is really showing your humility. Bending down to the Guru's feet is showing your humility. And Padme Angri Padme, the lotus. The lotus in Puranic literature and many of our Shastras is a symbol of purity, grace, or spiritual wisdom. So if you notice, Saraswati is always sitting in a lotus. Lakshmi is depicted with a lotus. Radha has a lotus in her hand. So that lotus signifies wisdom, spiritual wisdom. So what does it mean to be devoted to the Guru's feet? What it means is that if the Guru is the source for us to learn about ourselves, then our energy needs to be spent on what he or she is teaching us. Not the physical feet of the Guru, but being attached, or being attached is not in a negative connotation, but committed to the teachings of whatever the Guru is saying. So in this verse, the first 2 lines talk about identification with, we said, artha and kama, shariram, kalatram, yashas, dhanam. Identification, you can have all the wealth in the world. You can have the perfect spouse in the world, and that's still not going to get you perfect peace and contentment. It's never going to make us permanently secure. We have that feeling, I'll come to that in a couple of verses, I'll come to that. So we think money will make us secure. We think being a big shot or being famous will make us secure. This body, the body is the least of the things that is going to be secure, because as we all age, we know that it's breaking down. So the first 2 lines talk about the artha kama. The third line is a solution. So if the mind is not focused on the teachings, then what happens? Then the life is pretty much futile. It's spent, what's the point? What's the use? And the last 2 lines repeat in every verse as a refrain. So he's really emphasizing that we have to be, our priority needs to be the teachings of the Guru that we get from the Guru. Kalatram dhanam putra pautradi sarvam Kalatram dhanam putra pautradi sarvam griham bandhava sarvametadhijatam griham bandhava sarvametadhijatam manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme tatah kim 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 tatah kim. I forgot to mention the translation is also there. I'm just not reading the translation, but and for people who can't read the Devanagari, there is also the transliteration. So this verse is talking about further identification with people, with relationships, with possessions. So Kalatram, in the earlier verse we saw his wife, so you could just take it as spouse. Dhanam, wealth. He's really repeating this, right? Kalatram and Dhanam. So the repetition is because these are such strong areas that we get attached to, we get identified with. And we really think our security, our happiness depends on these things. So it's repeated again saying, Putra, Pautra, Adi. Putra means son, Pautra means grandson, by implication daughter or granddaughter. Putra, Pautra, Adi, Sarvam. Sarvam indicates all other relationships, all other of course, I don't think mothers-in-law come into this category of attachment for most women, but children, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, any relation, you can think of any relationship in your life that you feel extremely insecure when that person is not there around, or even a friend. Bandhava is other relatives. Griham is house. So we get attached to a house. And it's so silly because all a house is a bunch of stuff, right? Bricks and food, wood and things put together. And anything put together, anything assembled can disassemble so easily. But we get a lot of, a house becomes a status symbol. A house becomes a source of security. So he says, all these, griham bandhavaha sarvam etadi jatam, all these are arise or all these are produced or come into existence if manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme, if our mind is not focused on the teachings given by a guru, even if you have all these things, you have a good house, you have wealth, you have children, grandchildren, none of them are permanent sources of security or permanent sources of happiness. I know this sounds a little harsh, especially for people who recently had grandchildren and others who have had kids, but this is the reality. This is the reality. Kids have their own lives. Grandkids have their own lives. You speak to many grandparents in this country or in India, their 12-year, 13-year-old grandkid, who they lovingly cared for as a baby, he or she doesn't have time to even come and say hi. This is the reality because, and there's nothing wrong in that. That is how life is. But if you think your security or your happiness depends on that child behaving in a certain way, responding in a certain way, you are living a life of futility if you're also not focused on the words of the Guru. Shadanga divedo mukhe shastra vidya. Shadanga divedo mukhe shastra vidya. Kavitvaadigadyam supadyam karoti. Kavitvaadigadyam supadyam karoti. Manaschena lagnam gurorangripadme. Gurorangripadme. Tatah kim, tatah kim, tatah kim, tatah kim. So this verse talks about other kinds of identification, which includes our minds, our skills. You know, many people are really, they're intelligent, they're smart, but they take a lot of pride and identify. And I see that a lot at you know, when you have people at school, you have professors who are 85, 90 years, they're emeritus professors, they've obviously contributed a lot to the field, but that's a big part of their identity. If they are not, why don't they retire? Why don't they retire? Because if they retire, that identity goes away, and that's difficult. So here it's talking about that kind of identification with the mind, and or with different skills we may have. You know, you might be an expert in whatever, computer science, or you might be a poet, you might write, you might draw well, but if you identify with that, that's a problem. So Shad Angadi Veda. So Vedas, as you know, there are four main Vedas in the other four main Hindu scriptures, but there is an auxiliary branch, auxiliary scriptures called Vedanga. They are the limbs of the Vedas, and there are 6 of them. So in traditional times, when children were sent to the Gurukulam to study with the Guru, they were taught not only the Vedas, but they had to learn these Vedanga, 6 auxiliary limbs, and these are Shiksha, which is the phonetics or the proper way of pronunciation, Kalpa, which would describe rituals. Remember, the ancient times was a ritualistic, emphasis was on rituals, so they would have to learn how to perform those rituals. Vyakaranam, science of grammar. For those students who are learning Sanskrit here, you know how difficult that is, but they had to learn that along with the Vedas. Niruktam is the etymological derivation of words. Jyotisham, we mistakenly think Jyotisham is astrology, in the sense it can predict what's going to happen. But that was not the technical definition of Jyotish Shastra. Jyotisham was actually talking about the movements of the planets, of the heavenly planets and bodies, and the divisions of time based on that. And the reason for that was because rituals were allowed to be performed only at certain positions of the planet. Of course, now it's loosely translated as, what will my son get married? What dosha does my daughter have? Will my grandchild get a job? Whatever. So it's expanded to mean that. And lastly, Chandas. Chandas is the meter or the prosody, poetic meter. So Shad Angadi Veda, the one who knows all this, Shastra Vidya Mukhe. Shastra Vidya is the scriptures, Mukhe, the scriptures are literally at the tip of their tongue. Kavitva Adi Gadyam. Kavitva is a skill in poetry, poetic skill. Gadyam is prose, and Supadyam, poetry, who writes, Karoti, who writes beautiful poetry. If Manaschena Lagnam Guru Rangri Padme, if the mind is not fixed on the teachings of the Guru, on the Shastra, on the words of the Guru, Tata Kim, what is the point? What is the use? So here it's talking about, most of us in this room are overqualified, so your scholarship, your degrees, your skills, all sources of identification, but they cannot be a permanent source of security. None of these, even if you're a poet or a writer, it's great, you have these skills, But if you think that's going to give you happiness, permanent happiness, you're wasting your time. So that's the essence of this verse. Videsheshu manyasvadesheshu dhanyah. Videsheshu manyasvadesheshu dhanyah. Sadachara vritteshu matto na chanyah. Sadachara vritteshu matto na chanyah. Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. Rangri padme tata kim tata kim tata kim tata kim tata kim tata kim. This verse is talking about identification with our self-image. So, mattaha, if somebody thinks, videsheshu manyaha. Manyaha, I am honored, I am respected. Videsheshu, in different countries. Swadesheshu dhanyaha, I am very wealthy in my own country. And sadachara vritta. So I am always engaged in sadachara, in good conduct, good behavior, spiritual practices. And nacha anyaha, and there's nobody better than me in these things, in being very famous everywhere, world over. And again, this, I can only think about my own profession, because there are many people who are world famous. You think of these sports personalities or actors and actresses. Everybody knows them. So even if you have all these, you've traveled everywhere, you have Swadesheshu Dhanyaha, you have Swiss bank accounts, I don't know if that's a thing anymore. And you have Sadachara Vritta, you are constantly engaged, you're being a role model, you conduct your life in the right way. They're all very important, especially the Sadachara, to have right conduct and to have good values. But and you think nobody is better than me in any of this, which is fine, you might be the best out there, but manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. If your mind is not focused on the teachings of the Guru, what's the use? It's a futile, it's a life spent in futility without any purpose. Kshama mandale bhupa bhupala vrindaihi. Kshama mandale bhupa bhupala vrindaihi. Sada sevitam yasya padaravindam. Sada sevitam yasya padaravindam. Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. Manaschena lagnam tata kim tata kim tata kim tata kim kim tata kim tata kim. So what if you are a big shot? This is the identification of a big shot. Kshama mandale bhupa bhupala vrinda. Bhupa means king. Bhupala is literally protector of land, but you can take it as emperor. Vrinda, collection, a group of kings, and if you are sada sevitam, if you are always served by a group of kings and big shot people, kshama mandale, in the whole earth. Kshama is a word for earth, and mandala means round, so kshama mandale means just the round, the earth. If you are always or constantly being served by people because you are a big shot, yasya pada aravindam, your feet are being served by others. So you're really famous for whatever reason. Maybe you have a lot of money. Money can bring a lot of fame. It can also bring the wrong kind of people into your lives. Or you have some skills or traits or something that is of value to others. Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. If you're not focused on the teachings of the Guru, if you're not conviction, if you don't have conviction, not convicted, if you don't have conviction or not fixed on the teachings, not stabilized by the teachings of the Guru, then the life is futile, because all this famousness is not a permanent source of security. What happens when your money, well, we saw that in the recent Doge story that was going on. The Tesla guy was really buddy-buddy with the president, and after some time, that was gone. And something to remember, you know, the sign of greatness, at least I think, the sign of greatness comes from not how much you tell others or show others how much you know, but how much humility you have about what you know. And to recognize that even if you know everything, you still don't know everything. There's a lot more that we can learn. So being humble, it's really part of our growth. You know, it's very human. You know, we do say if you draw a painting, maybe a small little. I don't know anything about. I'm not talking about you. I don't know anything about painting at all. But the first thing you do is you sign your name on it, or you write 2 lines of non-rhyming material, and you think it's a great poem, and you put your name on it. That's obviously not a sign of humility. Okay. Yasho me gatam dikshu dana pratapat. Yasho me gatam dikshu dana pratapat. Jagat vastu sarvam kareyat prasadat. Jagat vastu sarvam kareyat prasadat. Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. Tata kim, 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 tata kim. So identification in this verse with name and fame. Yashas, fame. Yashas me gatam dikshu. Dikshu, in all directions. Me, my fame. Yashas has gone, gatam. So I'm famous all over. Why am I famous? Dana pratapat, because of my charity and because of all the deeds I do. And jagat vastu sarvam kare yat prasad. Kare, in my hand, I have jagat vastu sarvam, all the things in the world. I can have all the things in the world, yat prasadat, because of grace. So we many times forget that what we have is really given to us. Anything, even things that we have worked for to get. You could have worked for something really hard. There's no guarantee you're going to get it. Because of blessings, because of grace of the Guru and of God, obviously, we have a lot of things, but most of us don't acknowledge that grace. We tend to put ourselves on top first. I did this. So here it says, you can have everything in the world, Jagad Vastu Sarvam Kare, in your hand, literally, you know, you have all the wealth, you have all the fame, but Manaschena Lagnam Gurorangri Padme, if we do not identify or do not resort to the teachings, none of this fame, none of this wealth is going to be a permanent source of security or happiness. Na bhoge na yoge na vavajirajau. Na bhoge na yoge na vavajirajau. Na kanta mukhe naiva vitteshu chittam.
Nakanta mukhe naiva vitteshu chittam Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme Manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme Tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim Kim tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim. So what if you're not attached to all the things that were mentioned in the first 6 verses? You're not dependent, you're not attached to your spouse, which many times does happen. You're not attached to wealth. You don't care about being a big shot. You don't care about name and fame. So this verse is saying, even if you don't have all that, so na bhoge, bhoga means an experience or it can also mean food or pleasure, but in a bigger sense experience. Na yoga, not in yoga. Yoga can mean any spiritual practice here. Na va, nor vaji rajau. I had to look that word up. So vaji rajau is, raja is king, but Vaji Rajau refers to a Puranic term, 10 horses or of the moon's chariot. So there must be some Puranic story which is talking about moon, the god moon, with these 10 fantabulous chariots. So even if you have, if you're not attached, what is the verse here? Not to the finest horses, na kanta mukhe, so you're not attached to the face of your spouse. And you have to put yourself, for those who are married, put yourself to your very first few days of being married. Obviously, after 10, 20 years of marriage, most people aren't attached to the face of their spouses. But here, na kanta mukhe, na eva vitteshu chittam. Vitta means wealth, and chittam is mind. So you're not attached to the mind, to your skills, to your wealth. So what if you don't have any of those attachments? Even then, manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. So even then, if you're not fixed on the teachings or focused on the teachings of the Guru, it's a wasted life. So some people have, just an extension, some people who come to the ashram have ashram or any religious, they have this spiritual pride. And that, many times you've heard people say, oh, I don't go for parties, I don't do gossiping, I don't go to movies, I don't go to parties, I don't socialize. I come to the ashram. I mean, it's great that you're coming to the ashram, but that is a kind of spiritual pride. Not that it's not harmful, it doesn't hurt anybody, but it's for your own growth. If you recognize that, all you do is spiritual act. When you talk about it, all you do is go to this temple and go to this talk and that talk. It's great, you're doing all that. Better than going to a bar, no doubt about that. But you have to think about it for yourself. Is it making you identify with that pride? Is it hindering your growth because of that spiritual pride? And I'm not judging anyone. It's a good thing that you're doing it, but it's really for each of us to think about it for ourselves. What is it? So the idea of this whole Guru Ashtakam is to really make us think about what we identify with most. And it's obviously things outside. We don't identify with Brahman, we don't identify with Tattvamasi, because it's with the external world, whatever it may be, or our mind, our body, our skill set, recognizing that those are all temporary and those are never going to be the permanent source of happiness that we are seeking. So, Manaschena Lagnam Gurorangri Padme, what is the use if you're not focused on the Guru's teachings? And the last verse, Aranye nava swasya gehe na karye, Aranye nava swasya gehe na karye, na dehe mano vartate me tvanargye, na dehe mano vartate me tvanargye manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim tatah kim. So this verse is telling us, what if we are kind of fairly well controlled and we don't have all those desires of wealth and family and fame and all that? Aranye na aranye, so not in the forest. Forest implies solitude. You know, in ancient times, those who wanted to be on the spiritual path would go and stay in the forest. In our case, in our modern world, we can take the forest to mean a vacation spot. So you're not attached to the vacation spot. Nava swasya gehe, or to your own home. And being attached to your home, meaning you have to take care of the home, meaning all the maintenance you have to get done. So that becomes a point of identification. I don't know if some of you may have heard Pujya Swamiji mentioning, you know, first when you buy a house, you're so proud, you are a householder, you know, you have this house, and he says, and then after a few years, you have to be taking care of the house. So who is holding whom? Is the household, you are a householder, or you're being held by the house? You're becoming a householder. And that's very true, you know, if you, whatever you own, you have to take care of it. Whether it's a house or a baby or a child, you have to take care, or a spouse. It's fine, taking care is not the problem. The problem comes when we think their well-being or the perfect house is my permanent source of happiness. They're not going to be permanent sources of happiness. So, na ge swasya gehe, na karye. Karye means anything that your duties or your responsibilities, whatever you do. Many people don't come to Vedantic teachings because they say, oh, I lead a good life. I am doing everything right. I do my responsibilities. I take care of my duties, which is great, but that is like the least common denominator needed for our growth. It's great that you're doing all that, but that's not enough. That's not a permanent solution for happiness, for knowing yourself. Na dehe, na manaha. You're not attached to the mind, you're not attached to the body. Na dehe, mana vartate me tu anarghya. So you're not at anarghya means very valuable. Anarghya means priceless or valuable. So he's saying this mind and this body is actually very valuable. Because of this, we are able to sit here. We are able to pursue these teachings because we have a mind and a body. So these are priceless gifts. Even if we have these priceless gifts and we are not attached to them, manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme. If we are not dedicated to the teachings of the Guru, it's a wasted life. So all our rituals we do, all the spiritual practices we do, all our duties we do, they all help. They are all preparatory steps really to come to these, to the ultimate teaching of your true self, of you as Brahman. So those are the 8 verses. The Guru Ashtakam really ends with this verse. Most shlokas will have a phalashruti, a verse of praise and telling you the benefits. And it's kind of obvious they would have that, because if you didn't have the benefit, if somebody didn't know what the benefits were by chanting the stotra, why would anybody want to chant it? So most stotras end with the phalashruti. Gurorashtakam yaf pathet punya dehi. Gurorashtakam yaf pathet punya dehi. Yatir bhupatir brahmachari chagehi. Yatir bhupatir brahmachari chagehi. Labhet vanchitartham padam brahma sanyam. labhetvanchitartham padam brahma sanyam gurorukta mano yasya lagnam gurorukta mano yasya lagnam. So yaha pathed, the one who studies or listens to or recites Punya Dehi, the blessed one in this body. What does he recite? Guruhu Ashtakam, this Guru Ashtakam. Yatihi Bhupatihi Brahmachari Chagehi. Whether he is a Yati means a renunciate or literally one who's controlled, like a sannyasi. Bhupatihi, a king. A brahmachari, a student, or a gehi, a householder, which includes most of us here. So whoever it is, if he or she studies or recites this, what would they gain? Labhet, they would gain vanchita artham, the highest goal, or vanchita can also mean desired. The desired goal, padam means highest, the highest desired goal, Brahma Sanyam, called Brahman or known as Brahman. So this is really the true benefit of listening to the Guru, following the teachings of the Guru, chanting this Guru Ashtakam on Guru Purnima. So it's saying, obviously if you just chant this, chant the Guru Ashtakam, one without knowing the meaning, or two without really understanding the depth behind the teachings of the Guru, then it's not going to make you realize that you are Brahman. Guroho ukta vakye, the one in the Guru's manaha, the yasya lagna. So the one who is fixed, whose mind is fixed on the ukta vakya, the spoken words of the Guru, one who recites these verses in praise of the Guru, they will gain Brahman, they will gain this self-knowledge, this Brahman which is the ultimate source of security, ultimate source of happiness by reciting this mantra. So that is the, not yet, there's one more. So we do, okay. So that was the Guru Ashtakam. Usually we take up a line from, when we have these Stotra classes, we usually take up a line from the Stotra itself as part of our meditation. But I thought today being Guru Purnimas, we just do something little different. And this is a very nice mantra, shloka. I forget where the source is. I forget where it is from, but it's a very nice meaning and kind of ties together all the 8 verses from before. And it's a slightly different meter because the syllables are different. I have to think about that. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje. Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave. Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave. Na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho. Na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho. Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. So Guruhu eva gatihi, Guru alone is the path or the way, or the translation says refuge. Gurum eva bhaje, I worship the Guru only, I worship only the Guru. Guruna eva saha asmi. Asmi, I am. Guruna eva, always or indeed always with the Guru, meaning I am constantly thinking of the Guru. If you're thinking of the Guru as a person, then there's a problem, because this verse is not telling us to think of the Guru as a person. Think of the teachings that come from the Guru. That's what the focus has to be. Guruna eva saha asmi, I am always with the Guru. I am always thinking of the Guru. Namaha Gurave, unto the Guru, namaskara or salutations. Na Guroho Paramam, there is Paramam, nobody higher, nothing higher than the Guru. Obviously, Brahman is higher than the Guru, but Brahman is at a different order of reality. And why is it saying there's nobody higher than a Guru? Because the Guru is the one who tells us about Brahman, who teaches us about Brahman. I think there is a Kabir doha that many of you know, that if somebody saw a Guru and Krishna, Guru Gobind? Guru Gobind. Yes. Yes, so whatever language that is. So the basic meaning is, if the Guru and God are standing together, who do you respect first? Who do you bow down to first? And that verse says, bow down to the Guru, because the Guru has taught you who the God is. You know, if the Guru hasn't shown you, the Guru is the one to show you who God is, who the God standing next to you, who the God within you is. So Guru, na Guru Paramam, there's nobody higher than the Guru. Shishuhu Asmi Guru. Asmi, I am a child of the Guru, of the Guru. The child word gives a very nice emotional feeling, because a child has to be taught. A baby has to be taught. The parents, the mother, the father teaches the child as the child grows. So just as a child needs to be taught, we need to be taught. So in that relationship of a child to a parent is our relationship as a child to the Guru. So I am child of the Guru. Matihi asti gurau. Matihi, my mind. Asti is gurau, on the Guru, is focused on the Guru. Not Guru as a person, but the teachings of the Guru. Pahi Guru mama. Pahi, protect me, O Guru. So this is, we'll use this last line, Mati Rasti Gurau, Mama Pahi Guru, as a meditation. And as we begin this meditation, you know, for most of us, coming to the ashram regularly, for many of us, obviously Swamiji is the Guru, or any of the Gurus on the altar. But you might have, you know, you may not be in this tradition, and you may have you might be following other Gurus. You might follow the teachings of Swamiji or this Guru of this ashram. You might also be listening to teachings of other Gurus, and there's nothing wrong with that. You might be more connected, you might connect more with another Guru, another teaching tradition. Nothing wrong with that either. So as we do the meditation, just think about whose teachings, who you feel most connected to, and that will be your symbol for the meditation. Okay. We have a few minutes before we jump into meditation. Any questions before we close this part of the? Yeah, it's a pretty simple.
Can you explain the meaning of the last line again?
So matihi asti gurau, my mind is always on the Guru. Mama pahi Guru, O Guru, please protect me. Or I would extend the pahi to mean teach me, because that's what pahi doesn't mean, to teach, but by extension you can say teach me. Okay, we'll begin for meditation. Yeah, it can be on. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we're going to close our eyes anyway, so it doesn't matter. We'll do a brief, like 10-15 minute meditation, just to kind of let go of the intellect and drop into ourselves to really see what this Guru Ashtakam means for us. What does Guru Purnima mean for us? Okay, so we can sit with our backs fairly straight. Yeah, you have the close up, right? Yeah. Thanks, Usha. So sitting up fairly straight in your, and if the sun is bothering you, you can move to another chair. Sometimes it's nice, it's pleasant too. Just keeping your back fairly straight, sitting up so that your head, neck and trunk, your head and neck are perpendicular to the base of your body, and gently closing your eyes. Hands can be resting on the lap, either clasped, or just sitting up or down, facing up, whatever is convenient for you. Just taking a couple of 3 deep breaths in and out, just to let go of any tension you might hold in your body. And coming back to a normal breathing pattern. Then becoming aware of any tightness in any part of your body. Letting go of it, seeing if any muscles are held tight. And one way to do it is you can tighten that muscle and then relax it. Just becoming aware of your body, of your breathing, and bringing into your mind's eye any form of guru, any guru you would like, or even Guru, Ishvara as Guru, in the form of Shiva or Dakshinamurti, whichever form you connect to most, whichever Guru's form you connect to most, you can just bring that person into your mind's eye. Imagine you are sitting in front of the altar or in front of the Guru. And as I chant this last shloka, this last mantra, you can just listen in your mind's eye and imagine that you're sitting and chanting this. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje. The Guru is my only refuge. I worship only the Guru. Guru naiva sahasmi namo gurave. I am always with the Guru. Salutations to my Guru. Na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho. There is no one higher than the Guru. I am the child of the Guru. Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. My mind is fixed on the Guru, on the Guru's teachings. O Guru, protect me, teach me. I will chant these lines a few times. You can just listen mentally, imagining yourself at the feet of your Guru or of the altar of your Devata, eager for the learning, eager to be taught. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje, Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave, na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho, matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. Guru is my only refuge. I worship only the Guru. I am always with the Guru. Salutations to my Guru. There is no one higher than the Guru. I am the child of the Guru. My mind is fixed on my Guru. O Guru, please protect me, teach me. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje, Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave, na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho, matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. Guru is my only refuge. I worship only the Guru. I am always with the Guru. Salutations to my Guru. There is no one higher than the Guru. I am the child of the Guru. My mind is fixed on my Guru. O Guru, protect me, teach me. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje, Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave, na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho, matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. Guru is my only refuge. I worship only the Guru. I am always with the Guru. Salutations to my Guru. There is no one higher than the Guru. I am a child of the Guru. My mind is fixed on the Guru. O Guru, protect me. Teach me, please. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje, Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave, na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho, matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. As I chant this last line, you can chant mentally as well. Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. 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 Matirasti Gurau Mama Pahi Gurau. Matirasti Gurau Mama Pahi Guru. 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 Continue to chant mentally in silence. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje. Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave. Na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho. Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. Matirasti Gurau Mama Pahi Guru. Matirasti Gurau Mama Pahi Guru. As we come to the close of this brief meditation, we'll end by reciting our closing prayers together. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.